This field trip, which we have organized on behalf of the Association of Petroleum Geologists, covering Ladakh, and we have been focusing on the Indus-Sangpo Suture Zone. The idea behind doing this field workshop was to let people come out of the our offices, confines of the desktops, and actually come into the open to learn about how the tectonism happened for the Himalaya. So field trips like this, along with the collection of samples, updation of geological maps, will lead to a deeper understanding and future confirmation of the resources which are present in this particular area.
Right now we are standing on the Asian plate. All the rocks which are appeared here from dark color, light color, they belong to the magmatic arc of Ladakh, and that is known as Ladakh batholith. So this is basically plutonic component. Okay, the volcanic component was laying above than this plutonic arc, but that has been eroded. That is why you cannot see. If you carefully see from the base to top, the lighter ones, they are intruding into your dark color. So there are two different pulses of magmatism here, plutonism in this particular area, and they suggest post-collisional signatures because you are getting in this granite the garnet.
There's no foliage, there's no trees, there's no overburden. You can see just the incredible anticlines and fold and faulting with no obstruction. So here, it is like I can imagine the seismic trace and I can imagine the well logs. I can see the entire sequence.
This is a village called Mihu village. To the left-hand side, all this colored stuff with the reddish, greenish, this stuff. And if you come to the right-hand side, you see a distinct lithology. These rocks, they are highly crumpled, highly, cleaved rocks. And you see the stuff, it is having the shale, sometimes phylitic in nature. You have silt stone, you have sandstone, and at some places you have conglomerates as well, and lots of marine fossils in that. That means this formation is a marine formation. And the name of this group of sediments we call Indus group of sediments.
Now we are 23 people from different companies, including ONGC, Kane Energy, Piranta, GAIL, DGH, who is our regulator, students from DBS College, Dehradun.
This is the Indus-Sangpo Suture Zone. So this is your Asian plate, this is your Indian plate. So in that side, you see all these dolomitic lands, all these pinnacles and all this stuff. This is a buff color, all very fine-grained shale or silty material. Okay, they're all marine sediments, and they are tectonically abutting suddenly here. From this point onward, no dolomite, no that buff-colored stuff, and at this level where these greenish, highly cleaved rocks are there, this is a thrust.
Associated with the petrol deposition environment, try to associate it with tectonics, with oil and gas, with minerals, geothermal. Also do it with environment and sustainability.
This is the outcrop of dolomitic limestone. अभी आपने रिकम्बेंट फोल्ड देखा था, उसके कोर में था ये. उधर देखो अभी भी वो रेड ग्रीन दिख रहा है. One limb is there. In between you have this dolomitic limestone, and here again red green stuff. और उनके बीच में जो है एक कोर में Eocene की जो रॉक है, that is dolomitic limestone of the Tethys Himalaya. This is the last marine sediment of Tethys Himalaya. This outcrop, testifies that the stratigraphic age of collision between India and Asia is Eocene, and the age of these fossils are Middle Eocene.
Owing to its unique features, unique terrain, it gives us an opportunity to understand the different processes that took place in the past.
There are lots of sedimentary rocks in all the layers and all, and these rocks are very highly crushed and sheared. And if you just see from that, the background, they are very hard, compact rocks. They are there and overlain by some, glacial debris, and below that you have this colored reddish color and some greenish colored stuff, and you follow this all along this here. A similar kind of facies that has been deposited. And at the same time, just below this monastery, this lighter, band has moved further up. So it's a sort of thrust. That means the large scale also, these rocks are thrusted with that, the resistant rock. And the resistant rock, that is your Ladakh batholith. So it's a clear-cut tectonic contact here. In between, see there are some layers of this white stuff. This is gypsum. And for, oil industry, gypsum is very important for a cap rock, seal rock. So this entire section from there to there is a very thick, very wide zone. This is the ophiolitic Milan zone of the Indus-Sangpo suture. And you just touch and feel, Tethys oceanic crust. And the mantle, our entire mantle is, dominated by this rock. This outcrop is serpentinized. Maybe this was a dunite or harshbudgite, completely serpentinized. This is a serpentine, okay? So that means if we reconstruct the ophiolite, this will, constitute the base of these oceanic crust, ultramafic rocks.
This is the right place where we see all the exposures. We see the full thickness of the sedimentary structures. We see different variations of seismic variations. We see different kinds of geomorphology and also the dynamics of plate tectonics and the structures.
Lamayuru complex, that means we are standing on Indian plate. This is basically clay or the mud, and this is, a kind of, circular pattern, you see. So what does it mean? It means that it was a water body some point of time, and this was a glacial lake. And whatever sediments you see here, all the yellow colored, sediment, they are the lake sediment. Maybe because of some tremor, some earthquake activity, this lake was breached and the entire water was drained, So many, scientists, they have worked here and they found this a freshwater lake, glacial lake, and cold water microbiota. They have discovered basically. And now we are standing on the middle to upper Cretaceous dolomitic limestone of Janskar shelf sediment. They are fossils, We see this outcrop, there's a white line everywhere. Because of deformation, they are recrystallized. Okay, they are calcareous stress. And these fossils are dominated by rudisc bivalve. Wherever you find this thing, so that means this is Middle Cretaceous. A marker horizon all along the Himalaya. This valley was a glaciated valley. The glacier bulldozed, all this.
As a petroleum geologist, I can now say that how a basin evolves throughout the time.
Based on geochronological data generation, the age of this Kharduk volcanics is having n number of pulses, right from 68 million year to 60 million. So the latitudinal wise, it was located 8 degrees north of equator. You can reconstruct that whatever stuff, sedimentary stuff was deposited, they were deposited on those latitudes. And those latitudes are very important as far as your hydrocarbon prospective basins are concerned. Basically, all the green stuff, what you see, that is chlorite, okay? So this is basically chlorite cyst. They are a bit metamorphosed, as you can see. They are highly sheared also. Is known as Shiok volcanoes. And this is related to another, microcontinent, which was subducting north of, Ladakh.
Such type of workshop also help you to, access the area where you are going for the exploration in terms of terrains, in terms of accessibility, in terms of bringing out the resources. Together with their workstation capabilities, will enhance the hydrocarbon exploration in future.
So in geographic sense, we have Ladakh mountain, we have Saltoro Mountain, we have Karakoram Mountain. But geologically, Saltoro Hill is made up of Shyok Shucharju. So this hill, truncates here. And there is no continuation in between, there's a very wide valley. Where it truncates, it looks like as if somebody has cut, with a knife. Then about 40-60 kilometers away along the roadside, you will get these rocks there. That means Karakoram fault has, cut this thing and doing this stuff to further east of that.
From the APG side, this is an effort of not only trying to understand the Earth system, but also trying to make people understand how interlinked different societies are, different human strata is when we try to go for the exploitation of the natural resources. We are also hopeful that in the studies that we do, we are able to bring better understanding of the geomechanics and the rock types when we are doing the development for the infrastructure.